He hasn't changed, and this is a deeply disturbed and a delusional psychopath who has been the same his whole adult life. We knew it would get worse. Stressing was under because that's what happens with people with this kind of severe disorder. He's unstable. Think with the number that he has followers. They're not just supporters, and they're not just fans. The number is meaningful. He holds on to the things that he needs to believe, and the rest goes by him because he is unable to tolerate that reality. Because he is going to continue to get worse. We will not see the end of Syko.
Syko Studio 7.
And I'm not insane. My mother had me tested.
He hasn't changed.
Hello. It is another day. It's an exciting day. I'm excited. I am through the roof happy with my latest track. As if anybody couldn't tell, following my Facebook and other areas, I've been posting teasers and friggin' ads and just, I don't know, I'm trying to do everything streamers do, I guess. I don't know much about it, but this is what I'm about. I'm figuring it out. I have an exciting show kind of planned. Well, maybe exciting for me. I don't know. I'm gonna take a look back at all my piss poor recordings and just wander through the evolution of the creation of Syko Studio 7. And because I've had some comments and stuff, people don't know who the hell I am. I've been here for over 10 years on YouTube, and my following has stayed a steady 45 followers for fucking 10 years. So kudos to you long lifers, long termers. I appreciate you more than anything, because it just makes it fun to see how many people are actually checking out the stuff I'm making. And as always, this is a non-monetized endeavor, folks. I am not here making money. Excuse me, I've had some throat issues recently. I recently switched my Facebook to some professional mode, and supposedly you can get paid if you, dude, I have 2 followers that aren't my actual friends on my friend list, so I'm not really concerned that I'm actually gonna make any money here. I'm just here to have fun. Um, I've been playing basically my whole life, and I've always wanted to put my shit out there, because I know that there's I can't be the only one, dude. I'm a shut-in, as far as my music goes. I know quite a few musicians, but I don't play out. I don't, have a band or nothing. So I know what it's like to be in your bedroom or your garage or your living room or wherever, just jamming out on your own with no drums, no rhythm section, nothing. Just jamming to the band in your head. And excuse me. And I know what that's like, because in your head, you're pulling off some stuff that, dude, nobody's ever gonna hear that. That was freaking insane, and nobody will ever know, and I'll probably never be able to do it again. I know I'm not the only one out there, and don't the message here is, don't be discouraged, dude. Just keep going, keep playing. March to the beat of your own drummer, dude. It doesn't matter as long as you're having fun, you're enjoying it, you're learning, you're growing. Uh, to anyone starting out getting frustrated, I tell you, it is frustrating. You never sound like the bands that you listen to. Especially when you first start out, you buy a guitar and you buy some tablature and you learn how to play one of your favorite tunes, or at least the easiest one you can find to learn that's one of your favorites, like Angry Chair or something from Alice in Chains, right? Um, and when you play it, it just it doesn't sound right, and it's not you. You're probably playing it 100% right. It's just you don't have the gear. I mean, these big name bands, they've been doing it for a long time and they've accumulated the gear and they pay for the studios with the gear and you know what I mean? You're not going to sound like it unless you have the gear and the experience and the practice. So that's why just keep going, dude. Over the years, you practice. You're gonna get better. You're gonna slowly acquire more gear. You get a couple of effects pedals. Maybe a decent amp or a pod unit. You know what I mean? And you work your way up, and that's what I did over decades. Okay, this has been decades in the making, and so now that I have a functional studio, I upgraded to live stream so I can share and just get to know people out there because apparently this is where it's at. Y'all aren't hanging out at clubs or going to the park, or you're sitting on your ass watching cool shit. And I want to be some of that cool shit that you're checking out. So here I am, sitting on my ass, doing the same. Um, but yeah, I've recently started floating around some of the indie community. I found some pretty cool shows, some artists and creators that are really encouraging, really knowledgeable, like Jade Star, Pete John, Thomas Christ. There's too many to name because the community keeps growing and it's the most encouraging community and diverse. I mean, there are so many genres in this community that uh, if you can't find something you like, dude, there's something wrong with you. And it's all levels of experience, dude. There are people just starting out. I've seen some pretty radical clips of this an autistic kid and his family or something with a band, and dude, nothing but love and nothing but encouragement all the way around, dude. And and it's fun because everybody gives each other advice and tries to help raise each other up. Nobody's shitting on you because you submitted a shitty track. You know what I mean? Oh, that sounds like crap, dude. Why did you even freaking publish it? But nobody's gonna do that in that community, dude. It's all about the encouragement and learning and growing. And I've done a lot of it since I found the community myself. I mean, and this is part of what this show is about. I'm going to show you where I was before I got to this point and found this encouragement and got some tips and tricks and really honed in my style of how I create. I'm not a performer, you know what I mean? You're not going to see me out on a stage or at clubs or I'm out on the street busking. That's not me. I'm too shy for that. So just this alone, I mean, this is incredible for me, and I think I can do it because I'm in my space. You know what I mean? And I can reach out to you safely for the most part. So this is where I am, and I want to go take a look back at some of the really old and shitty stuff I've recorded over the years. I started out. Um, I used to get a pair of RCA cables, the red and white cables at Radio Shack, and get an adapter for the guitar. And I'd jack my guitar directly into my old man's friggin' uh, stack rack stereo system with the big floor speakers and shit. And he had a guitar from I think it was from Sears called Court, It had effects built right into the body of the guitar. Just push button, click, click, click. Chorus, flanger, distortion, all built right in. It was, I mean, it was cheesy as hell, but it was awesome for me. I mean, I was amazed. And I just went from there. So I actually came across not too long ago a very, very old, very old recording of me back in high school doing just that, like jacking into the stereo and using the dual cassette tape deck to record. And I don't know if I can pull that up. I didn't get really all that prepared for the show. I've been so excited. My mind's been everywhere. So so when I found the file, I dug it out because I've built my computer up. I started with something I found in the garbage, and I found parts and made a computer that worked, and built my recording. I got a DAW at like Staples called Magic's Music Maker 14, which I actually love. It was the best thing I could have ever gotten. But as I build new computers, I'd like switch everything I had, onto it. And I've got a mess of files buried, just buried. So I gotta kind of look around for this real quick. I'll show you what I'm looking for here. I'll show you where I'm looking anyway. I've got it in Magix because I tried to like remaster it a little bit. So, because the sound quality was bad. I mean, this is bad, but if you could hear the original, it's really, really bad. I just got to figure out, I got so many locations. Man, I can't remember where. Maybe it's here. Oh, I'm getting close. Oh, there it is. Alright, let's see if this will play. Okay, don't judge. Okay, this was back in, I think, 1995. That's what I labeled it, because I think hadn't quite graduated yet. I graduated in 96, and we were the class from hell. That was our mantra, because we went through hell. Our building was under construction, and we conducted classes in squeezed in corridors made of plywood and shit, and we still got in trouble for being late for freaking classes, even though like it was so bottlenecked. It was a health hazard. It was freaking ridiculous. But and the administration we had to deal with, yeah, we were the class from hell. So I'm not gonna play the whole thing. It's probably, I can't remember how long. Oh yeah, it's at least a half an hour or something, I think. Just to give you a feel of where I started. Let's see if this works. Is it gonna play? Is their sound gonna work? Oh, from a tape. I'm glad I got it digitized when I did. I remember this. I think I played this song for a science class in front of a strobe light to demonstrate the friggin' vibration of the strings and shit, the physics of sound. Let me open up chat. I see I got some viewers. Let me just open the chat. just to say hi. I gotta pay attention. And so, yeah, I think there's like different songs that I was working on back then. In my head, they were great. I was gonna be the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Everybody has that stage where like they just think they're it, you know? That riff just brought me back. I was a big Nirvana fan back then, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, I was definitely a big Nirvana fan back then, if you couldn't tell. I think I lived out in California back when he was coming up, back in the day when like Snoop Dogg and them were coming up and LBC and shit. I used to steal my mom's Camaro and drive down to Balboa and shit. I got in so much trouble out in California, guys. uh, oh, the memories. What's this one? Oh, this is special. I think that was my old original Fender with I think at like a place called Daddy's Junkie Music. I found a or no, maybe I bought it off a friend. I can't remember. That pink American FX 56 distortion pedal. I think that was my old cream color Fender that I smashed. Yeah, I had rages. I had many rages. But always inanimate. I was never a violent person, you know. It was all inanimate shit, taking out frustration. Not a fighter, folks. Not a fighter. I tried that, failed miserably, trust me. I haven't listened to this in so long, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is probably a half hour to an hour of friggin' music here. We're just practicing songs. Yeah, see, I practiced another take of the first one. See, I was just recording myself practicing. And that's what you do, guys. That I mean, I wouldn't have this if I didn't have the foresight to just hit record, dude. You know, it's one thing to play something and think you sound good. Record it and listen to it again. You're your worst critic. I'll guarantee it. You are your worst critic, but that's how you're gonna learn from it. Because you play it once and you might remember you did it, but you're not gonna learn anything from it because it happened once and that's it. It's gone. Record it. You get to listen to it, and your ears learn from it, and you get better. And I'm not a friggin' no Satriani or Steve Vai or anything, but man, I think I've improved compared to that. Not much. My style hasn't changed much, but yeah. What else do I have in here before I go looking for the stuff that I did publish? There is a lot. I was just looking for some of the old songs, see if I have the remasters in here. Oh, that. Like I said, so many folders to look through. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time trying to dig around here. I've got a lot of old stuff that I published on YouTube that I'm gonna go check out. Um, my YouTube, like I said, I've been there for like 10 years and I had so many friggin' videos up. Uh, and again, I don't care about like the monetization shit, so I don't really care about the view count other than watching it happen. Um, so I removed like a shitload of videos and I compiled them all into one like I don't know, it's a 3 hour video or something of all my old tunes. So we'll probably be digging through that. These are the new ones. Yeah, that's all really recent. Okay, yeah. But I just wanted to do a little throwback back to high school because I mean I've heard some people in the indie community that sound a lot like this, and I reach out to them a lot. I like, dude, I remember sounding like that, dude. Keep going. You're getting there. You're on it. You're on the right path, dude. Just keep going. You know, that's I can't stress that enough. I mean, I'm kind of confident with my guitar work, but like vocals, no, dude. I've done very little vocals, and this is where I'm gonna focus a little bit on tonight is my vocal tracks. Um, because I have tried in the past and recently tried again. I experimented with like some EDM stuff and rap, and uh, I gotta I gotta warn people. There's a lot of electronic and weird music on my channel right now, at the top of my channel, because I went through this process of where I found GarageBand, and as much as I love my Magic's music maker, because I love having a little bit of magic in everything I do, right? The GarageBand was so more user friendly and had some features that I thought were freaking phenomenal, especially on just my damn phone. I can plug my guitar into my phone. Are you shitting me? You know what I mean? Like, I went from plugging into an old 80s friggin' stereo to friggin' full on professional sound recording on my damn phone. So I'm just blown away. And so I did a couple of test recordings with it, and then it sounded as amateur as my stuff usually does, and I was kind of discouraged. And I found some of the EDM sample packs, and I started messing around with that because I love electronic shit, dubstep, Skrillex and friggin' hippie sabotage, and I have a very eclectic taste. So again, don't judge, dude. If you're a fan of music, then you gotta at least respect other genres because you can learn from them. I mean, you can love heavy metal music, but if you don't know much about music and all you care about is metal, you're not a musician, you're just a metalhead. Yeah, right? I mean, look at Randy Rhoads, dude. You think he's a metalhead? No, dude, that guy was a phenomenal classical guitarist. Phenomenal, and that made his rock and roll way better. So don't judge because I like all these weird styles and shit, because it makes me who I am. That's why I'm a okay. So um this is gonna be weird. I haven't really done much of this kind of sharing, so let's see. Let me set this up properly. Let's go back to the screen. There's nothing really there. And I wanted to go. Where is it? Oh, I had it set up. Where is it? Son of a bitch. Hold on. I'm almost there. See, now it opened up a new one. Okay. Alright. So, where was I going with it? Now, which one was I going to play? Oh, it only displays so many per page. Come on. That's what. I got too many videos. Bear with me. Here, let me. You can watch me struggle. I got a lot of videos. I'm assuming this is still working. I moved my browser over, even though StreamYard is running on another page. Like I said, I'm new at this, so I hope this is working. Alright, let's see. Yeah, not at the bottom. So many videos. I just think I had like twice this many videos before I did the compilation. Oh, another page for there's a compilation of like just me jamming live, like kind of streaming but without streaming. And there's this compilation here, and it's chaptered in the description with all the different songs. There's a lot of content right there. Just that one video, and I was wrong. I misspoke. It's not 3 hours. It's an hour. So yeah, let's go back. A little bit beyond high school. I went into trade school, learned how to be a welder, a welder. I'm a welder, and had ended up having a family, but somehow managed to buy myself a mixing board, and it was a rare, someone brought it in, pawned it in or something, and I I I want to say it was actually one of my friends from high school, because I could swear I know one of my friends had this similar unit, if not this exact one. Um, but it's got a 4-track tape deck built in, and that's when I first got into multi-track recording. Yay! And let's see. So I thought I was gonna be a hit. I thought I was gonna make all kinds of money and be able to support my family and shit, and it was gonna be the dream. Yeah. How do I select it from here? I do it with my phone all the time. I don't use my computer for this stuff usually, so. There's a song I wrote about becoming a star, about wanting to be a star. I had friends and classmates that were becoming local heroes. I'm not gonna reach out and plug names. I don't want to be that guy that tries to ride shirt tails, but uh, I had opportunities to, hang out with the guys and jam with them and stuff. I was just too shy. I kept turning down the offers. Like a friend of mine wanted to introduce me and get me to hang out with him, and I just like, no, dude, I'm not that good. I don't dare to. So then, after having a family, I wrote a song basically to the people like that, people that made it, that put themselves out there. I don't know how to make it play. Well, this is stupid. Hold on. Why am I in this friggin' What the heck is going on? Hold on. There's gotta be an easier way. Videos. I don't want to play all. I want to see all. What the heck? That can't be the end. Why can't I do this? I'm failing. I don't do this on my computer, so I don't even know how to play my tunes on my computer. This is crazy. Okay. Okay, now we're getting the long list. Here we go. Okay. Oi. Okay, I gotta pause it. It's gonna start playing right away. Yeah. Okay, there's the highlighted time markers. Oh, this is the view I believe you guys would see if you went to my channel. And we're checking this out. Again, newbie. So this track called Something Like You. I think this is the one where I remastered it so you could actually hear it. Because when I bought the mixer, it actually came with the instruction manual, and in reading it, it it says that for optimum recording, set levels to 0 dB. If you could see my face, I know I'm not sharing the screen and I'm not on the friggin' page to swap it over, but like if you could see my face right now, dude, 0 dB in the manual. So I had to totally revamp it, remaster it, and equalize the shit out of it and pull some of this out of this file because it was horrible. But back then, this was my best effort. And there's got to be a volume button. Yes, wow, that's loud. I forgot I turned my shit down, so hopefully you could hear me up until now. I I botch things almost every stream. Actually, I know I can turn it my headphones down there. Now I'm not yelling in my ear. There we go. That's what the problem was. Okay. So I'll get it eventually. I'll get the everything dialed in. So yeah, that was my first time multi-tracking. I did an acoustic guitar, and I didn't have an electric acoustic, but I did have this microphone. I bought this microphone way back, and I stuck it inside the hole of the guitar. Had the mic inside the guitar. That's how I mic'd my acoustic back then. And but yeah, and I did, the multi tracks. I did the acoustic, I did electric, and I did the electric lead. I the solo. I think I don't know. I was amazed at what I did back then, and if I knew back then what I could do now, wow. So, anyway, and this was a part of a whole album. Yeah, an album I created called Acoustic Tales, and I'm gonna play another one from Acoustic Tales, because like I said, I don't do many vocals, but I have in the past. And let's see, this one is called "Be a Man." This one is it's a poem that I wrote back in high school, and then after having kids, I was able to revamp it and turn it into this song. And it's basically a message to future me, or a message from future me to the me back then when I wrote it. Wrap your head around that one. It happened back then, but future me made it for past me back then. Anyway, so this is Be a Man. Yes, it's quiet. I'm sorry. Oh, what did I do? Somehow back then I knew everybody was going to be smoking weed, dude. I knew back then it would happen. It's weird. Forgot about that picture. I don't wear my hair down. Yeah, that one needs some serious remastering. It's still really quiet. If you crank your volume, you actually might hear a decent tune. And it's really weird because, like, that was back around the year 2000, and I'm singing about everybody being stoned. And it I mean, after the whole liberation of the medical marijuana and all that shit, look what happened. You know what I mean? And I knew it back then. I was telling myself about it. Like, everything would be alright. You know? Someday, nobody's gonna care. And apparently, nobody does. Well, inside joke. Anyway. Let's see, we're looking at vocal stuff. That one, I never made. I did actually, but I don't know what happened to it. It's probably buried in the files from my old computers. There's probably a video somewhere for this, but I used the audio and made a work compilation video. So the a former friend of mine was in the military, and he went and served in Germany, and while he was there he got into some really weird that weird metal, like the Norwegian goth death metal. I can't remember the. Anyway, I don't know what genre you'd call him, but Burzum. Have you ever heard of Burzum? He came back from Germany friggin' praising Burzum. He loved listening to Burzum, and dude, I don't want to diss anybody, but, like, what the hell is wrong with that guy? Alright? People think I'm fucking nuts. You gotta freaking read up on Burzum, okay? And then listen to his music. So I made a song in the style of Burzum. And there are lyrics, but they're unintelligible. I might have them written down somewhere. I don't exactly remember what they are. I made this song on my trash-built computer when I first got Magix. Sugar! Another inside joke. I remember that job. I think I did like 100 of those. Speaking of marijuana, it was for there's a grow facility that was under construction. I believe that was this job I'm working on now in the video. Pipe supports, stuff like structural stuff for piping. Probably all that hydroponics. So yeah, you're really getting to know me. This is me at work, man. I'm a fitter, welder, machine operator, custom fabricator. I love metal. Not too shabby. Sorry, us welders have a little bit of a prima donna complex about our welds. We say we don't, but we all do. Yeah, I mean, it's a long song too, so we're gonna. But that's the style of Burzum. There's so many layers, you can't make shit out. You can't make heads or tails of the friggin' rhythm, or it's weird frickin' music. Hold on, I'm gonna do something real quick. Just give me a moment. I want you to see my face. Hi. I think that'll work. Now I can go back to here. And then put it back over here so you can see that too. Hopefully now that worked. Alright. So that was later on, you know, after like I'd separated and you know, shit happens with life. But I still had my mixing board, and I have my guitar rig plugged into it, and I have my old shitty computer that I built, and I put Magics on it, and that's where I started learning how to do DAW recording. And I there's so many other DAWs out there, and I'm just so happy with Magics that I don't bother. I think I've tried some samples, some, you know, some demos or whatever of other DAWs, and just get frustrated because I can't get them to do what I want. Like simple stuff. Like one of them, like what was it? This Pro Tools. I think I was having a hard time just getting it to play the sample track that I somehow loaded on the friggin' track view. You know, I was like, wow, whatever. That so I love my Magics, and when I was surprised when I got into GarageBand that how user friendly it was, and thank God I found a way to utilize both. So moving on, when I moved here to this state, I've traveled across the country a few times. California, from the west coast to the east coast to the south. I'm currently on the bug-infested sandbar of the United States. Bug-infested sandbar. And so when I got here and I started a new job, I met this old guy, old timer, and dude, everybody thought he was a weirdo. They thought he was a freak. He was like, first impression when you see this guy in the shop, you think friggin' like Devil's Rejects horror flick. The guy's wearing a black leather apron. His face is all covered with black soot, and it just he seemed like a friggin' he seemed like he was out there, and nobody really seemed to bother with him. And there, he was like in his almost in his 70s, and I like my first day on the job, I was doing something simple, just like holding on to a handle of a saw, a chop saw, and cutting shit. And so I'm looking around, watching, the vibe of the shop that I just started in, learn my area, and I'm watching this old man, and he's trying to pull this big ass piece of pipe, like 24-inch pipe, uh, on these rusty ass conveyors and shit, trying to get him up onto his machine, and he's just sitting there struggling, and the fucking pipe is not moving. And I thought that I was gonna watch this old man freaking kill himself in there. I was like, holy shit, dude! Nobody's like, I look around and nobody gives a shit. So I stopped what I was doing and I walked right over. Like, dude, do you want a hand with that? And he was like, Jesus, yes, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck it, And so I helped him push it in, and that's where it started. I got to know this guy, Ralph, and come to find out, he's a freaking musician. See, we recognize, musicians recognize musicians, man. I just, everybody thought he was a creep, but I could tell this guy was freaking cool. And come to find out, he was, dude. What an interesting life. Oh my God. Like, working on the Apollo missions at friggin' NASA and shit as a consultant or something. Like, he's got some stories, dude. And that's why I love old timers. I learned everything I learned for work. I learned mostly from the old timers, man. They know their shit. They don't fuck around, and they work smarter, not harder, right? So, uh, but I guess he played in a guitar of all things, like me. He plays guitar, and he plays in a surf band back in like the '60s. Okay, out at, like, I think he said like San Francisco area or something in California, which is freaking phenomenal. Like, dude, we had so much to talk about. Like, me living out in California, we could talk about places, and it was an instant connection. It was meant to be. It was cool. Either he or I was born the wrong generation, dude. We should have been like fast friends in the day. You know what I mean? Because I would have loved to party with that guy. I bet you that would have been a riot. But so he inspired me. I got talking music with him a lot, and I got picking up my guitars again, and I started jamming, and I created like what I considered a friggin' monster track. And again, looking back, it's kind of amateur. There's so many things wrong with it, like the tempos. I didn't even know how to line up tempos and shit back then with the electronic drums and stuff. I still mess that up once in a while. I forget to change the tempo settings when I start building my songs in GarageBand now. But so I wrote a song for him, and then I think maybe a year or so later, I did an acoustic take, and I just want to. I mean, there's a crazy lead solo kind of version of it, like the demonstration. I'm not going to show you. You can come watch it anytime you want. It's in this list. McCord Blues. Okay, what I'm going to do is play you the unplugged acoustic jam. And I think I added bass with the touch instruments on GarageBand, one of my first uses of GarageBand again. I recorded one of the guitar parts using, when I first got my Apple, I had that, what is it, MSTR recording app or something like that. And you could record multiple tracks and play them over each other and shit, and like mix them down and then have 3 more tracks again, like I used to do to my 4-track tape player. So I tried that out. It's just a whole combination of resources, but it came out pretty good. And like, it's one of those things where I am so glad I had the foresight to capture it in some way using either the MSTR or screwing around on GarageBand, but I recorded it, and I love this tune. video production here too at this point. Yes, I have a bass and I use the touch instrument instead. What the hell, right? Won that white guitar at a show a few years back. That's an interesting story. Oh, hey, pay attention. We already heard that one. So yeah, that white guitar in that track. I went to a show, a local show, with a friend of mine and some people, and they had this raffle for the guitar that all the bands in the show were signing, and there's this raffle. It was a deal, like so much a ticket, or you spread your arms out as far as you can, and they unwind the friggin' roll of tickets from fingertip to fingertip for, you know, a bulk deal price. I was like, fucking right, sign me up. So me and my friend and his wife, and I think also the other friend that came with us, we were all filling out the tickets for me. and and then I went to the bar and I ran into a bartender. I think I've lost him when I switched my friggin' Facebook account. Actually, damn it. Uh, a guy I met, a bartender. He was actually from my area up in New England, and so we got talking and not paying attention. My phone rang, and I pulled it out, and it was like from, you know, some city in the state. I'm like, dude, I'm new here. I don't even freaking know anybody here. Well, who's calling me? And I ignored it, dude. And I don't know, maybe 10, 20 minutes later, I left the bar and went back to my group, and they were like, dude, did you get a phone call? I'm like, yeah, why? They were like, um, because they called the raffle number and the person didn't answer. They're like, what? And then so after a while, they called another number, and that person had left the friggin' venue. I was like, what? So I ran up to them guys. I was like, dude, did you call me? Did you call me? And they asked me to show them my phone and show them my number. I was the first person they called that didn't friggin' answer, dude. I got so lucky the other guy left. So I got the guitar and I got pictures with the guys, and it was, dude, what a memorable moment, dude. I will never forget that day. And not a bad guitar either, dude. I should play it more. I don't dare to because I don't want to rub off the signatures with my sweat from my forearm. Because when I got it, it sounded like crap. So I gave it a tune-up. I set it all up, and at first I thought it was just going to be, you know, a wall piece. It is because of the signatures still, but dude, after I tuned it up and played around with it for a bit, like, dude, that thing could be my main guitar right now. If it didn't have all those signatures on it, it's my first Jackson. I've never had a Jackson until then. And dude, that could be my go-to if I weren't afraid of rubbing off all the signatures. What were the bands? I can't remember. Soul Switch. Um, some of these signatures I can't even make out. They're so squiggly. Not Now Josephine. There was. What was the other? I think one of them was called Gorilla Fight. Um, what was the other one? Not. I actually follow a couple of these guys. Born from Ashes was one of them. It was a freaking rocking show, dude. I mean, I don't go to many shows, but just the level of metal in the local scene is awesome. Mainstream friggin' artists, there's something wrong with the media these days, dude, because even that shit's getting lame. Tool's latest album, when that came out a few years back, I guarantee I'm gonna get crucified for this, okay? But that new Tool album, when you record an album, what do you do with all the takes that you don't use in the songs? I guarantee these motherfuckers went and collected all the outtakes from the previous albums and just splashed them together and made that new album with no friggin' effort. I was so amped for a new friggin' Tool album, and then I was so destroyed when I was like, why did I pay for this? It's like I can tell some of those riffs were taken from outtakes from the other songs. They're perfect for the other songs. Like you can tell. Anyway, that's how I feel. I know I'm gonna get crucified. That's hey, that's my opinion. You don't have to like it. Anyway, moving on. I did a cover of Purple Haze, or I tried to do vocal. I kind of cringe. Oh. Purple haze all in my brain. Lately things don't seem the same. Acting funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm coming up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. Help me, help me. Oh yeah. It's just recorded in front of an iPhone. Purple haze all in my eyes. Don't know if it's day or night. Got it blowing, blow my mind. Is it tomorrow or just the end of time? Oh, purple haze. Yeah. Not bad for an acoustic cover of an electric tune, I guess. You know, but when I made that, I was looking at all kinds of people playing acoustic covers of Purple Haze, and like only half of them actually played the actual song, and half of them embellished their own thing into it so much that it wasn't the song anymore after a while. I was like, dude, there's no one out there that had an actual acoustic cover, like note for note as best they could, and at their ability of skill. it was all everyone trying to do their own thing and, you know, like make themselves something out of it. Like, dude, I just wanted to see if I could play Jimmy's song, dude, and I wanted to see if anyone else was playing it, if to compare if I was sounding right, you know. And I was like, nobody's doing it right anyway. I'm gonna do it. So I did a video. Oh, so more people are probably gonna hate on me for that. um. And this is where, like I said, this is about the time when I got into GarageBand. So I'm gonna have to move back. Let's back up a step. Will that work? Oh, there we go. It worked. I started doing the GarageBand thing and getting into the mixing of the EDM stuff. I got some tracks in here that I'm quite proud of. Some of them that I'm like kind of cringe about. My reverse remix, that's kind of cringe worthy. I made an entire track and then I friggin' reversed it for the second half of the track and mixed more stuff on top of the reversed version of it, making sure that I put lyrics on it, but in reverse and only on the reverse side. I think, if I remember right, I think it's only on the, or maybe I did it forward and reverse with the vocals. I can't remember. And it's weird. And in reverse, it sounds like I keep saying psycho. Don't ask me how that happened, but it does. So if you feel froggy, go ahead and check that one out. I'm not into the vocals on that one. If you really want to laugh at me, check out If I Could Rewind with Reverse Remix. My first attempt, I mean, because that's like an attempt at some kind of, I don't know, K-pop kind of thing, I think. I don't know what you would call it. Psycho rap. I tried doing a rap tune, and I actually thought I did pretty good. This song could have used a few more verses. I mean, I had like one or two good verses, and I called it done. I didn't want to start trying too hard and make it suck. So I just left it as is and left a big empty spot at the end for other people to do like rap battles to the mix without any of my lyrics. Because I know a lot of people back in the day used to do that at the end of a track. They'd leave a long section where people could use to remix and do like rap battles and shit. So that's why I added that long thing at the end.
Okay. So here I go. I'm not really much of a rapper. It's not like my words are gonna matter. Crazy train in my brain, a mad hatter, and everybody wants to know what's the matter. Looking for a soul bride, I thought I had her, but that didn't last. Who's up the next batter? But that's just life. Skip to the next chapter. So alone I roll and try to maintain control. Alone and stone, flying so low. Alone, no home, home alone, feeling so low. So I just go with the flow and hope my feelings don't show. Cause I'm calm like a bomb, but I'm ready to blow. Just another neighborhood psycho, chilling in the backyard, puffing on that wacky tobacco. Get like a backhoe, digging in a hole with nowhere to go. But I still got rhymes and kick a funky flow, yo. And that's all you need to know.
I mean, come on, this beat's sick, right? Dope, yo. Go, Lisa. mean, right? You could, you could rap over that. I left this big old section for you to give it a shot. There's an idea. Why don't you add a few verses to this track and send it to me? I'd love to hear it. It's not like I can claim rights to any of this. It's all friggin' GarageBand loop samples anyway. What happened? Back up a step. Okay. So, yeah, that happened. I tried a couple more. I tried to get a little more aggressive with my rap style. And then I had a little personal message to shout out to someone, a former friend. We won't be showing that one. If you want to check it out, you can. You get a little backstory. I don't want to get into it. I'm finally getting over it. But this one, you know that song, I want my MTV. I can't. My throat's still fucked up. I had that in mind when I made this vocal.
Oh shit. It's just another old school rap tune. I hope someone famous brings it back soon. Cause everyone to be like me is about to catch you selling out and selling crap on YouTube. It sounds nothing like it used to. It's not about the music anymore, it's just about you. And we can do the same shit you can do, dude. It's no longer about the skills, it's just bitches and pills. Shamefully it seems that this is what sells. Whatever happened to ringing our bells? Paved the way to 2020, bitch. Welcome to hell. Just think that it's sad. Raising kids to think to be good, you gotta be bad. Now look at the crap that we have. Is this really the aftermath? Because if this is it, I think I'll just pass. Still love this beat though. Still want my American dream. We're not listening to my solo over a cover of Seven Dust today. Oh, it's playing again! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh. So, yeah, get into some rap. I started doing a lot of EDM. Really hard into it. I did a couple of guitar tracks. This one right here, Game On, Dirty Little Horror Mix. I have a copyright claim on this from someone who just recently joined YouTube. And because they used, like they copied me, dude. I made this 2 years ago, and they just friggin' got on the friggin' YouTube a year ago. And almost all the friggin' samples in his track are the ones I used. Only I did it better. Okay? I'm gonna say that. I did it fucking better. But yeah, I don't like the algorithm bullshit. When you try to dispute that crap, they don't help you at all. Oh, that's not YouTube. It's the publishing company or whoever the artist goes through. Like, well, tell them they're fucking wrong, dude. He's copying me. Just look at the dates. It's rages. Anyway, this one, there's not really vocal. There's some sound bites, and I did some weird, voice changing stuff. But again, after putting my guitars down and playing with the EDM for like a year or two, you can see the dust that collected on my guitars when I started getting back into the guitar work.
Five, four, three, two, one, zero. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
There's that mixer I was talking about.
My rig.
And yes, there is a continuation, but I'm not gonna play it. I never finished the track. It was another really disappointing moment in the evolution of Syko Studio 7. Man, I have this pod unit, the J station. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Johnson amplification. They did some pretty wicked shit back in the day. The effects blew my mind. I played with a couple of guys, and the guitar player had a Johnson amp with all these effects, and I thought it was phenomenal. It was like the next big thing. I had to have it. And then I found that they make a pod, and I didn't have to, get a new amp just to have it. I could just go grab the pod and plug it into my freaking big ass Marshall I had at the time. And it was awesome. I loved it. And unfortunately, for a long time, I had it stored in the back of my amp between the two big speakers, between the magnets and the two big 12s. Yeah. It's fucky now. It won't turn on. It blinks and does weird shit. And I found this out when I went to go make Astral 2. Because I had this whole big idea. I know in order to get that big guitar sound, that you have more than one guitar track. I was always under the impression you could just copy and paste and double them up in your DAW to get that sound, but mine never sounded the way it does. You know what I mean? In the stuff that I listened to, it just didn't sound right. And so my big idea at that point was, okay, I've got my big Korg rig now, and I've also got my J station and my Morley wah pedal that I plug into that. And I was like, okay, so I'll record like the rhythms with this rig, and then I'll go record some lead with that rig and make it sound like two different guitar players. And once I got all my stuff recorded with the Korg, I went and pulled out the J Station and found it was fried. So I never finished Astral 2. It's posted as it is as a standalone track, but as far as I'm concerned, it's devoid of an entire, I don't know, section. A whole key player is gone. I don't know. I was in mourning for a while, so I went back to the EDM stuff and started playing with camera stuff. I made a trailer for what is now the Divinity project finally come to fruition. Oh, the picture was in there. The guys I won the guitar from, the picture of us together was in that. Nothing self-indulgent there. Syko 7, everything. Little shameless self-promotion. That's what we're doing here today. Nothing but shameless self-promotion because I'm building up to basically premiering my new tune. I've already published it. You can stop the stream and go watch it if you want, but like, because I'm new to this, I don't do things in the right order. I'm excited. I just want to get it out there and I want to show people. But I had a lot of people questioning, like, who is this guy? He's all of a sudden he's popping up in this community. Syko 7. What kind of a freaking name is that? It's a name I created back when I used to draw my own comic books. I thought I was going to be an artist, and one of my characters' name was Syko. And over the years, I've just kind of donned that persona a little bit, I guess, as part of me, because the character was, I guess, a reflection of me. You know, what was going on in my head anyway, or what I. You know, we all want to be the superhero or the super villain. Well, it's not the villain, but like the bad good guy. You know what I mean? The good guy that's willing to get his hands wet. You know what I'm saying? Ready to freaking take vengeance on the world. But so I don't even remember where I was going with that. But yeah, the name. So, and there's more behind the Syko thing. I mean, there's another reason for it. I've been places. Anyway, and the 7. That's a little shout out to my trade, man. The music. 7 notes. That's all it is, right? It's just 7 notes. So how it can't be that hard. Why is it making me so fucking insane to try and learn how to use them then? Hence Syko 7. Yeah, I have like this guitar lesson that I came up with for people too that I call Psychoscaleontology. To help you learn the fretboard and work on the diversity of your soloing and stuff. You don't have to know the notes, but you gotta know the intervals to make it sound right. If you learn a certain few key patterns and what strings to start them on, they work in every position. That's the beauty of the guitar. It seems overwhelming, but if you break it down, there's actually some simplicity to it. I won't get into that. This isn't a lesson, but anyway, I just figured I'd mention that in case it ever comes up. You're like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Anyway, so yeah, there's some more EDM stuff. A lot of EDM stuff. I tried to redo the McCord thing. True Blue is kind of funny. Someone I was conversing with out west for a while, like an old classmate from California, got themselves one of them little like kid-sized guitars, and it sounded like crap, and it didn't work when she plugged it in. So she mailed it to me all the way from the West Coast, and asked me to fix it, and I did. And then I recorded this with it. This is played on a little tiny kitty guitar. That used to be one of my favorite places to get away and just think. That was one of my thinking spots back home. Basic 12-bar blues riff and a totally improvised lead solo. Yes, one of my other favorite getaways that I miss so much. On the ocean. On an island, no less. My favorite place. Took me a minute to figure out what this was. I'm like, what the hell picture is that? That's the wood from the pergola I built for my mom's back patio. The wood finally rotted out. We had to take it down and I burned it. It took me 4 years to build it. My bad. Yeah, that's probably enough of that one anyway. That's bringing back some sad memories. That's why it's called True Blue. Moving along. We're getting a little more current now. I want to show you just a little bit of the EDM stuff. Some of my... What did I... Oh, never mind. Let's keep going with the guitar stuff. Screw the EDM. There's no vocals. There's no vocals in this one, but this is a really recent attempt. I think it was last year at utilizing the GarageBand and creating video content that's not just a still photo. You know what I mean? Tried the picture-in-picture thing. I've never gone live at this point. I have an app on my computer where you can generate what looks like a stream, you know, with a picture-in-picture and the layers and stuff. And that's how I created this. Trick photography. There's no drum set there. That's GarageBand. I just used my drumsticks to make it look like I was playing them. I think it's GarageBand. It might be Easy Drummer. I can't remember. Yeah, it's Easy Drummer. And I didn't record me playing that. I made these videos of pretending to play the part to make a video for it. This is actually about the time I came up with the idea for the lyrics for the new song I'm going to show you soon. So that was Penitent Man. And when I was making that, I came up with the idea for Wicked Hands, Tools of the Divine, blah, blah, blah. That's when I came up with the lyrics for it. I wrote them down in the notes section of my iPhone, and they've been sitting there for about a year. More EDM stuff. There's Astral 2, the unfinished one I was talking about. You'll hear, it sounds, you can tell it's missing something. I mean, it's EQ'd and everything to have a space left in the right sound range. You can hear it's missing. I can. About the time right after I made this, we found out my father was having heart trouble and ended up having a pacemaker. Like, really shortly after I made this. Another weird coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. That siren sound is actually touch instruments, the strings. I think at this point I was actually purchasing like sample packs for the for PC DAWs and stuff, and messing around, and not having a DAW they were compatible with. I was transferring files from the program onto my phone to use in GarageBand. And so I think some of those sound clips are in these. It's a weird ambiance and stuff like that from Ghost Hack or something like that, which I was kind of sketched about using. Just the name alone, Ghost Hack. Okay, is this safe to purchase this stuff or what? But again, I don't have the right kind of DAW to use the extensions and stuff, so I was just grabbing the raw files from the program and making my own little sample packs in GarageBand out of them, which is where I learned how to transfer files from my Windows to the GarageBand DAW. We've been here. It's another commercial I made for my upcoming album. It's been in the making for like 15 years. Yeah. I expect great things from myself. And then I get all discouraged and I freak out. Like, oh my god, I don't know if I can actually do it. This is a long jam. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I do like a lot of those licks. You know, this is like I'm talking about, just jamming out to stuff. And if you record it, at least you get it recorded somewhere. I mean, there's stuff that it sucks, you know what I mean? There's riffs in between that are no good, and oh, what the hell was that noise? Well, but then the other stuff is like, holy crap, he did that? I'm a big fan of like Satriani and stuff, so I do a lot of solo, wannabe solo type stuff like them. This is one of those attempts. GarageBand drums. I like this chill vibe. Turn the lights down low, maybe some candles. Do your own thing in the privacy of your own home, you know? Just chilling. Is really when I was focusing on trying to stay in tempo and add drums to my stuff. This is when I really started to up my game, production-wise. Yeah, it's a real chill tune. It's a lengthy one, you know what I mean? This is it's one of those, what do they call them on the radio? I can't remember what they call them. Stoner tunes? Sit down and roll one? I don't know. Whatever, whatever you do. I picture this sitting in the candlelight with a hot steaming cup of like cocoa or something with a little something splashed in it, maybe a little hot toddy. The cold weather outside, you know. That's the kind of vibe I felt when I made it, anyway. But people keep telling me they don't want 8-minute songs, 13-minute songs, 30-minute songs. Oh, okay. I'm working on it. I'm trying to stop doing that. And it shows in my latest tune. I bit my tongue really hard. Because like I said here, I want to solo over everything. I want to do something phenomenal like Buckethead and Satriani and friggin' Steve Vai and stuff. And I don't have those skills, dude. I'm just winging it and capturing it and getting lucky. Okay? But I'm getting lucky more and more often. So it's a work in progress. Let's see. I kind of like the vibe of this EDM. I'm gonna throw one of the EDM ones. I did the EDM stuff for about a year or so on GarageBand because the mix sounded great. You know what I mean? The levels and stuff. There was very little tweaking needed unless there was some artistic stuff and changes I wanted to do on purpose. And I made a bunch of stuff, and I was creating these things and studying why and how it sounds better using the samples than it does creating my own friggin' tracks. And this is just an example of
As I'm
what I got a friggin' commercial.
in the midst of applying for residency
Yeah, let's
right now,
watch our
we've got
commercial,
Beverly has again been a
everybody.
lifesaver with my application.
Let's not and say we did. This is one of those things where, you know, feeling good today kind of vibe. We're gonna kill it today. That's what this song is about. Killing it. I wish I could play bass like that. That sounds phenomenal. It's almost got that Seinfeld bass sound. Now that I said that, that's all you're gonna hear is the friggin' Seinfeld show theme. I love mixing the EDMs and the flow from one section to another, the different layers, the flow between the layers is just so smooth. I love the loop table. The money theme's kind of an inside joke about my real last name. You can find my real last name on an actual friggin' piece of currency. Another fun fact, I made this track and like I think a week later I hit 5 numbers on the friggin' lottery and won my mom like $500. Like not even like maybe a week after I made this track. Something like that. Just weird coincidences always happening. So yeah, if you're into, you know, electronic stuff and, you know, it's instrumental, I don't do a lot of vocal stuff on that. I got into the Veloco app and was contemplating doing some of these new fanboy type music vocals onto the EDM shit, and yeah, that's just, I like some of the music, but the genre itself and the vocal, yeah, that's not me. I need to take it to a little bit of a darker side. Here's another one.
Celebrate 15 years of
Oh my
love.
gosh!
$5 shorties and $6
I recently
classics.
canceled my pro YouTube after they friggin' denied my my dispute. I was like, I'm not. I stopped paying for the friggin' premium YouTube crap if they're not gonna friggin' work with me on that friggin' copyright bullshit. So now I get ads in my shit all the time. Can you name the movie that this soundbite comes from? Can you name that movie? Hence the pirate flag, dude. I pirate clips from anything. I don't give a damn because I don't monetize, dude. This is all just for me. And for you. For free. EDMs, like over a year I put down the guitars and just started messing with this stuff. I'd pick up a guitar once in a blue moon and mess around. That one's terrible as hell. You're not gonna listen to that one, and not today anyway. You can, but I'm not playing it. It's another like old school. Let's do it. We're here to see all the bad shit and the good. I'm not impressed with this one. This is not my best. Trying to do that old bluesy thing. I think after I went to see B.B. King, like the month he died, he played down here, and I actually got to go before he passed away. That was pretty cool. Little B.B. King inspired tune for you. The backing track, I think I got a copyright claim. I can't remember where I got the backing track. It's not mine, it's not me. Only thing me on this is the lead. track you're supposed to play over, why am I getting a copyright claim over it then? Whatever. I like that build-up. Alright, maybe I am a little proud of this one. It's got the sound I like. It's close. It's one of those tunes I can show my grandmother. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's not all me. Like I said, it's a backing track that I think actually Ralph, the guy I was talking about, I think he might have sent that backing track to me and told me to record something on it for him. If I remember right now. Yeah. I think that was Ralph's doing. Yeah, I got some videos here that demonstrate how I transfer files from my Windows to GarageBand. Some other, these are, I got some things. I was doing a little segment called G Rants, where I bitch about the friggin' current events, but nobody really gives a shit what people think about stuff. They only care what they think about stuff. So I gave up on that idea, because I'm not here to fight with people. How I built my stereo. That's like a 3-hour video, just compilation. I kept taking videos of how, all the steps in the processes of tearing my car apart and putting custom building this friggin'. Anyway, you can check that out if you want. Another tip for GarageBand. I think someone asked the question, how do you record live loops while the tracks are playing? Like, how do you record live loops onto a song you already have in tracks view? And that was my answer. I think it was on Pete John's show or something. Somebody asked, and like Pete was fumbling around. He actually couldn't. He forgot how or couldn't figure out at that point. So I was like, hey, I know how to do that. So I posted a video real quick. We're getting really close. I'm skipping over all this EDM stuff, like I said. And then after I started getting the copyright claims for some of the EDM stuff, I started wanting to make my own loop samples. So I upgraded my keyboard situation and started doing some piano work, both on the GarageBand with a touch piano and then with my pianos as well. Some of these are one, some of them are made on the other. I don't think I can even recall which is which. They sound pretty good. Recently, we got some bad news. A friend of mine, a drummer, had a terrible loss, and I don't know. That struck me when I finally heard about it. I was kind of torn, and I played it out, and this is what I was feeling. So yeah, kind of really mellow, kind of very sorrowful sounding track. I think that's what I was feeling anyway. I was when I got the news, I was blown away, and my heart goes out to the dude. It really, truly does. I just can't imagine. I had a similar situation close, where one of my kids was on the deathbed a few times. The heart stopped, died a couple times in the hospital before they were completely revived. So, yeah, I feel for him, and that's killer. That kills me. Um, Moving on before I start tearing up. uh, there's been a lot of tragedy lately, like freaking another drummer, a friend of mine. He actually died. Diabetic. He died in his sleep. That just tragic. He was a pretty cool drummer. He's a good dude. Friggin', I don't know. Lots going on lately, and I think it might be affecting, my playing and stuff. So yeah, around this point is where I started getting into the community, the indie community, with like Pete John and Thomas Christ and them, and just checking out what's going on, what other people are doing, and how they're doing it. Because thankfully, people like Pete show you how they're doing it, and that's where I kind of got my format. Where I got live stream, and you watch me record this stuff. Twice now, I've had successful runs where I've done the live stream, recorded the raw tracks, just jamming out to, like, say, a drum beat or whatever, and then looking back at what I did and finding a good 8 bars that would make a decent loop, and picking it apart, and then transferring those onto the live loops table on GarageBand, and actually mixing and building the song with the live loops table, and then editing the tracks view and shit after the fact. Adding the solos as one shots and stuff like that. So, like, I mean, phenomenal. What a difference between the guitar work and the live recording stuff that you've heard up until this point, and these two songs. I'm gonna play you. This one has been shown on Pete John's show with, like, uh, I'm humbled with the reaction. The feedback was just, I couldn't have asked for anything more. And then and I was lucky I caught that show. I didn't even know I was on the show. Apparently, he didn't send out the email saying, "Hey, you're on the show," this whatever. So I didn't even know, and I just happened to tune in, and I was on the show. I was like, "Oh my god, no way! He actually did play it. Sweet." And at the same time, I had submitted the same song to Thomas Christ show. See, Pete John only plays, like a minute or two of a track, and he don't like solos. He does not like solo tracks. So, Pete John just kind of gets your stuff out there and introduces you to it. Thomas Christ will actually play the entire track, which I think was pretty cool of him. And so I started following him, and the other night I went back, and because I don't get to see a lot of this stuff live. When I do, I'm there and I chat with people, but I'm busy. I work full time on another job, and then when I'm not, I'm probably here in the studio or whatever, and so I'm not on checking out what other people are doing all the time. And again, I never got any email or anything saying that my submission was accepted and that I was on the show. So, and I was trolling my YouTube, and I saw Thomas Christ show. I was like, "Oh, hey." I saw that notification the other night while I was working on something, and so I clicked on it, and I was checked out the replay, and I was blown away because he premieres, like, new artists first in his show. Like Pete John, I'm fairly new, and I'm usually around the second half of the show after his toilet break, which is, hey, I'm on this show, dude. I'm ecstatic. But it blew my mind when Thomas Christ played my tune first thing on his show. And I didn't even know about it, and I missed the live airing of it. I feel so bad, dude. I feel like such a dirtbag. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Thomas. Oh, so, and then watching the live chat feed on that one, like, oh my God, dude. I can't believe how many people actually dug Wide Road Boogie instrumental, and I've played it for people before. I'm gonna play it again because it's my music and it's my channel. And
YouTube is the new home of
unfortunately, I
NFL
have
Sunday
commercials.
$50.
My favorite riff in that one. I love that riff. That came out really good. So I didn't really. The drums are a little unimaginative in that one. I think it's just one straight up loop. You know what I mean? Throughout the whole song. I don't think there were any changes in the loop. I focused more on the guitar on that one. Just wanted to really test out this whole idea I had of grabbing the samples of my jam in sections and turning them into loops on the loop table. And this was what I came up with. I think my first experiment with that was like with one of the Astral videos was when I realized I could do that, and then I did some more research, and now this is me attempting again to use that method, going from my Windows DAW to my GarageBand on the loop table to creating and building the structure of the song onto the the tracks view. And then once I get the rhythm and all that down, I'll just play it like a million times and listen to it and then start jamming over it. and sometimes I'm lucky and I hit record, and some of those jams are keepers. You know what I mean? I'll grab those and friggin' swap them over to GarageBand and paste them in on the track I was building, which is how I built that. And lo and behold, that's how I made this next track. This one I put a little more effort into the style of the drums. I wanted some more structure to the song other than just, guitar, like 2 or 3 different rhythm parts that loop and repeat back and forth, the standard format, a couple for the verse, a couple for the chorus, a couple for the refrain, blah, blah, whatever. I wanted to really put the drums into that process as well, rather than just having just a jam track keeping tempo for me. That's how it started. You know what I mean? I'll find one that has a good beat and tempo that jam out to, but then afterwards, when I come up with a couple of riffs over it, I dug around and found a few other drum loops to throw in the mix that fit with it, and created this track. And again, I can't give this guy enough props, dude. Pete John, thank you again. We had the discussion on one of your shows about the guitar layering and how I thought just copying and pasting a whole second track was how the big studios, did that and got that big full guitar sound. And you schooled me. You said I'm right and I'm wrong. They do double up the tracks, but they don't just copy and paste them. They do different takes, and they layer different takes, much like people do with vocals. The vocal tracks, it's not just one friggin' straight take, person singing out. There are layers to most of the vocals you listen to. They either with effects or multiple takes, because all the little subtle changes and different nuances, like when you layer them together, it gives the track more texture. The vocal track will have more stereo sound and have a more harmonic sound to it. Same with the guitar tracks, man. It really fills the void that I was looking for. Because no matter what I recorded, it just did not sound as freaking cool as the stuff I listened to. You know what I mean? It's all the gear. It doesn't matter. I just could not get it to sound like a professional freaking recorded track. And I finally did it, Pete. Thank you. Because you schooled me when I did my live stream of this project. I played these riffs, several different times throughout the process of the stream, and I have, multiple recordings of different attempts and blah blah blah. And when I went to create the loops, I went and grabbed different takes, but I grabbed what I called contenders. Like, oh, okay, this one might be good enough to be that main riff. Oh, there's a contender for the main riff. Blah blah. You know what I mean? And I was gonna pick and choose. And then when I got them onto that loop table, I was messing around. I think you can even see it happen in one of my little update videos or whatever. I think I did. I showed it on Facebook. I don't think I've been doing any updates on this song on YouTube because I wanted it to be a surprise how it came out. So, but when I was doing the demo, I accidentally hit 2 of the loops at the same time, and they just happened to be different takes of the same riff, and it sounded great. I like blew. I'm like, oh wow, and that's what I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what Pete was saying too. It's not a copy and paste. It's just a different take. Blah blah blah. And I got thinking about it. It's like, the bands with 2 different guitar players, like Atreyu. So they'll be playing sometimes the same guitar part, and I saw in an interview where they were explaining they couldn't figure out why one guitar player's pinch harmonics would be one pitch, and the other guitar player pinch harmonic would be a whole different friggin' tone. But they blended together. They worked, like this layering. This the same idea put together. It functions as a whole, and it's really good. And I was like, dude, I know why the pinch harmonics sound different, dude. Depending on where you strum the friggin' string between the bridge pickup or the neck pickup, there's a couple of sweet spots for those harmonics for the pinch harmonics, and I guarantee you one guy rests his hand lower on the bridge than the other guy, and that's why they get different pinch harmonic sounds. Even though they're pinching the same string and the same fret, they're getting a different squeal out of it because he's picking in a different location on the string. And that got me thinking, there's the difference in the nuance, you know what I mean? And I think some of the takes that I did, I recorded with playing with a pick, and then I recorded some playing without a pick, just using my bare hand and my fingernails, you know what I mean? And there's a difference in the sound, just the sound alone of the guitar. And when they were blended together by accident, I was like, oh wait, wow, friggin' light bulb, hello. And so instead of picking and choosing which take I wanted to put into the song, I started layering them up and utilizing the different rows on the loop table, and so that I can start playing this thing in succession just by pushing the arrows at the bottom and making them play everything in that row in syncopation, you know what I mean? And progress from one to the other, and it started blowing up. I was like, oh my god, I get more and more excited the more work I did on this track. Like every day after work, I'd be sitting out in the garage listening to it over and over and over, and then tweak something, and then listen to it over and over and over, and then tweak something. I'm very obsessive. I've been listening to this track non-stop, even before it was finished, when I had partial versions that I've been posting on Facebook for my friends only. So yeah, my friends have been seeing this progress on this tune, but everybody else gets to see it now, like bam, all at once. Here it is. So enough jabber jawing, where it's getting late. I've actually was gonna only try to go for 2 hours. We're running a little over. It's all for this. This is why we're here. I'm celebrating, and I'm so excited, and I hope this track blows up. Share it, subscribe, follow, look me up on other media like Twitch. I'm on Twitch. Hi guys, I hope you're here. And Facebook and YouTube, SoundCloud, you know, share the crap out of this. Look me up, subscribe to me, tell your friends about it. Say, hey dude, there's this guy that came out of nowhere, and like, he's not that good at what he's but dude, check this out. So no further ado, I love this track. I'm gonna be cranking this thing for weeks. Crank it. Yeah, that happened, right? Like, after hearing some of that first crap and then hearing that, dude, like I said in the beginning of this show, dude, don't be discouraged if you sound like crap. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes experience, and it takes gear. Lots and lots of fucking expensive gear. I mean, shit. Effects pedals, friggin' processors, interfaces, mixers, microphones, software, computers, friggin' adapters, the iRig, a MIDI friggin' adapter. That just so much crap. And I'm not even done really with this build. You know what I mean? I want to get green screen shit working. I want to paint like the back wall behind me with that chroma green paint. Maybe get green fabric or something for the couch I'm sitting on here, so you stop seeing that orange slipcover thing. And I don't know if you noticed in that video, the very first vocal line, the word profits. Uh, it, I almost miss it because I have no pop filter, pop filter for my microphone, and I wanted to avoid that going on with the recording. So I had my head to the side, facing away from the microphone when I said profits, and then turned and fed into it, and so yeah, I still need like a pop filter. I could use a boom mic. I mean, I've got some work to do, but it's functioning. Okay, uh, and successfully, dude. I don't know what you think, but I think that freaking track just is the shit. And I'm in the wrong freaking view here. Here we go. Yeah, you don't need to see my blank desktop. Uh, But yeah, I'm so blown away. It only took me a week from my stream last week to the publishing of the track today on YouTube. 1 week. Every day after work, messing around with everything that I made on that live stream that weekend has accumulated into that. There's a story behind the track. Not only just the poem, the lyrics that I wrote when I was doing Penitent Man, but there's this an idea for a novel that I've been working on in my head for God 20 or 30 years. I'm just too lazy to sit down long enough to write an entire novel. I tried a couple of times. I got started. I got like a chapter or two in, and then just petered out. And like, yeah. But it's a twisted story. It might be a little too intense for some people, so I won't get into it. But you know, it's actually a kind of a good thing. It's just some people aren't going to agree with with the idea. It has to do with revelations and the coming of Christ and the Antichrist and things not turning out the way they said it was going to. But that's all I'm gonna. I don't want to give away too much. I think if you want to know more about the whole plot of my unwritten novel, just subscribe to Thomas Christ, because I just submitted this song and I gave a little bit more detailed write up on the origins of the song and the storyline for the novel that it's written for. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, hang out with Thomas Christ and ask him to play my tune. I think he will. I think he's gonna like it. So when he does his next You Rock show, I'm sure it'll probably be on there. But if not, you can always hear it here. Subscribe, hit the friggin' like button, dude. I can't stress that enough. people keep telling me they like what I've done, but nobody's pushing that button. You need to tell the algorithms too, man. Help me out. Help me spread out and find more people that'll like my shit. So, share, share, share. And I hope you had a little bit of fun getting to know me, getting to see where, my music has come from, where I started with all this crap, and how I got to the point where I gave up on my garbage built PC, and I had a custom built laptop made just for this studio, and it's just exploded from there. So, and to me, all the time and money I spent on it, just creating this one track made it worth it, dude. My whole life, I just wanted to say, hey, I can do that, and show someone I can do that, and I just did. I mean, I could die happy right now, dude. I'm immortal at this point. It's out there. It's never going away. And that's one of my bucket list items right there, dude. I did it. Now, hopefully, I can keep doing it and put out like a whole album's worth. We'll see. So, well, thank you for stopping by. I've seen a few people pop in and out. I love that you at least stopped in to check me out. Anytime, check out my previous posts, videos, live broadcasts, you name it, and there'll be more. I'm gonna ride out this tune probably for a little while. Just gonna be cranking it in my headphones and in my car, and so I won't be working on anything new for a little bit. I'm just gonna enjoy this one for a few. But until then, keep recording. Whether it sucks or not, keep recording. You will thank me 10, 20 years from now. Peace.